Hello, welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. This is your host, Rachel Abassi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And what a doozy of a day, really. Not really. I don't know. I had a virtual cardiologist appointment, and I went into it thinking, I'm just going to this so that I can give this guy some money because what is he going to tell me? Honestly. But my husband was like, well, you can tell him about those little heart flutterings you've been having. So I've been having this I don't know, it feels like butterfly in my chest kind of thing. And um, sometimes I even feel like I'm running out of breath. But for me, it feels like a panic attack, like a mini panic attack. Just because I'm so familiar with those, that's what it feels like. It just feels like my heart's like skipping a beat, and sometimes I get a little lightheaded. And doesn't that also sound like some sort of like AFib or something like that? So, interesting that I don't know. I've been blowing it off and now I'm like, I don't know. So anyway, I told the guy and I started telling him it feels like this, it feels like this, and he was like, "You know what? The great thing is we could sit here for a couple days and you could tell me what it feels like, but you have a heart monitor in now implanted, so we're going to go ahead and pull a report for you for the month and we're going to see if anything's really going on in there." So I'm glad, I'm glad that I'm doing this. So that was this morning. I also went to a vestibular support group meeting that is led by a vestibular therapist. And it's nice because we go in there, we go around round robin, and you introduce who you are, where you are, and what you've been thinking about lately. And so I shared about this feeling like I feel like I'm having these little panic attacks. And somebody right before me had shared about anxiety. So this might be an interesting topic to start going down. What I'm thinking about is, and I'm not going to go too far into it today because I have a different topic, but I think that this is something that I should cover here in the near future, is that I have been waiting to get my Emgality to be in stock at the pharmacist. So it was finally in stock. I picked it up yesterday and I gave myself the injection yesterday, late afternoon, evening. And what I have noticed is that as my pain behind my eyes, that's really where the extreme pain starts setting in behind my eyes, as that has been increasing while I'm waiting to give myself this Emgality injection. And as you remember, this is for the migraine. This is for my chronic migraine headaches and stuff like that. It really just takes the edge off. It doesn't get rid of my headache. Anywho, as this has been increasing, these sensations in my head have been increasing. I've been increasingly feeling this panicky, anxiety feeling, which could be AFib feeling. I don't know. He said it's the cardiologist today said it's hard to tell. So as I've been feeling that, the lady before me in the vestibular support group meeting said that she wanted to talk about anxiety. And so I had shared like, yeah, I want to talk about it too, because I'm feeling like I'm not sure where this is coming from. I'm so familiar with anxiety and panic attacks that I don't know if this is correlated with my vestibular disorder, or is this correlated with something's actually wrong with my heart that caused my stroke? Who knows, who knows, So anyway, she talked about it and she talked about, yeah, absolutely. There's a correlation between what's going on in your vestibular system and anxiety. And as your sensations heighten, you tend to have an increased sensation of anxiety. So surprise, surprise. I mean, that really wasn't surprising to me, but I think right now it's like, what is related to what? At this point, I have several different things going on, and it's important for me to message them out to everyone so that everyone can give me feedback on how what I'm feeling is associated with either the stroke or the vestibular disorder or my anxiety that has just always been this underlying anxiety disorder that I have. So that's what's going on with that. And then my son got his license. Yay. And he's a little late getting his license, only because he chose to wait. So he has this red car that used to be my daughter's car. It's a 2006 Nissan Sentra, and it's been just sitting in his driveway waiting for him to get his license. And so we just had it towed to the Nissan dealership to get it checked out. And it turns out, no surprise, that the cost of the repairs to get it up and running well are going to far exceed the cost of the car. Don't you hate it when that happens? So the car is maybe worth $2,000. I mean, it doesn't even run. So, and the repairs are like $3,800 was the quote. So that's where we are. So today I've been the best I can trying to look at some cars. And guess what Chatty McChatterton is good at? Looking at cars for you. So put in the requirements, where you want the car, how much you want. Do you want single ownership? Do you want a certain mileage on it? Like, he will go and do the work for you, and Chatty will come back and give you the best results according to what you're looking for so that you don't have to do it. Yeah. And I went back and I looked at the results that he gave me, and these are the best cars that I would have chosen. So it's awesome. So I sent those over to my son, and we're talking about maybe if I were to buy the used car and then him submit car payments to me, that would allow that lesson in the life lesson part come in, where he's actually being accountable for paying for having this new used car, which, believe me, it's going to be very used. But he's going to have some accountability, but yet we can get him off and driving himself to work, and that will be a huge stressor that I won't have to deal with anymore. So that's what's going on. That's about it. On a happy note, I've been doing lots of drawings. So if you follow me on social media, I have been sketching. That's a new hobby. And I've done two different kinds of flowers. One is I don't remember what it's called, and the other one was a rose. And today I attempted to sketch I think it's a marigold. I'm not sure. I always call things marigold, and I have no idea. Anyway, I don't think it's a marigold. Yeah. Anyway, I sketched it. I thought it was terrible. It's a terrible sketch, so I'm going to try it again. It's a flower that my mom sent me. It's growing up her handrail, in front of her house. So I asked her to send me a picture, a close up of one of the flowers, one of the blooms, so that I can sketch it. So I tried. It's purple, so I was coloring it in as if I was drawing with crayons, and I hadn't done that yet. Like I did really well with the first two flowers, where I was just doing shading, and that's what I need to do. Like I couldn't get past the fact that the flower was purple, and I'm like, it should be darker. Like the flower should be darker. But no, so I'm gonna try it again. I bought these like 4x6 cotton paper cards, and they just look really cool, especially with a sketch on them. And then I bought some spray that is supposed to make it so you can't mess it up if you touch the top of it. And then I bought a little album to put the sketches in, and they're gonna be at my craft show that I'm going to have, I think, closer to Christmas time. At least that's my plan. And I'll also put them on Etsy too. So I just love doing my Etsy. Have I sold anything? No, I haven't sold a single thing, but it doesn't matter because it's just allowing me to have somewhere to put all of these things that I'm enjoying doing. Another thing that I did, for those of you who are actually looking at the video, as you know, if you're a longtime listener, my sister goes to this auction and gets me jewelry, like old jewelry, and I just love it. And so I take the jewelry apart and I make new, like stylish jewelry. So one of the things she brought me was this bracelet. It's a metal bracelet. And she said she thinks they took it to a jeweler and the jeweler said it was copper. But it looked kind of like, I don't know, regular old, just metal, silver metal, but it's not silver. So I thought just by itself, it was really plain and not cool. So I looked up how to tarnish metal naturally, like with household items. So I got vinegar. So you mix vinegar and salt, and I put the bracelet inside. What I used was a glass candle container with a lid, and I put the bracelet inside the container with the liquid, and I just let it sit to make it tarnish. And this is the result. It's got a really pretty turquoise in it, and I just think it's so cool. So then I sprayed it with a acrylic seal, and that is also going to be on my Etsy. So super fun. Another thing that I did, we're just having show and tell before I get into the topic. Another thing that I did was in these jewelry boxes or whatever that my sister got, there was it's Michael Golan, which I think is kind of it's more than what I would pay for earrings. And it came with a bracelet. Anyway, they look like this, and they have like a pretty same like turquoise greenish kind of tint to the stone in there. So they're just gigantic. I mean, who's going to wear that? So I took the earring part, the posts off of the back, and cleaned them up. And then I put what is if you're looking at the screen, a little clip. And I put it together with a chain. And if you are unfamiliar with these are from like the 70s. And you put it on either side of your cardigan, and it holds your cardigan on. So it's totally cute. And I have been dying to bring back this whole cardigan clip dealio. So I made a couple, I think I've made three sets of cardigan clips now, and these are definitely my favorite. I like to take old earrings and make cardigan clips because I think that they're gonna be so back and in style, just like brooches. Brooches are coming back also. So that's what I'm doing. That's the stuff that's making me happy these days. I have been painting rocks for a neighborhood rock garden. It's clear when I look at the rocks that I'm the only adult, but I'm really going all out and making them like super like flowery and cut, and it's fun. It's fun. I like it. And the other thing is that it gives me a goal, a destination, walking with my dog. Like, this is how far we should walk. So I've always got this underlying plan for it's all about my recovery, right? It's all about me making sure that I reach my walking goal. And I'm also being fulfilled by doing something creative, and I'm giving back because I'm putting inspirational quotes and cute little paintings into this rock garden. Yesterday, I kind of cheated and I put in there this little garden gnome painted thing. I don't know. It's like a craft that you would buy from like Michael's where you can paint it and then seal it, and it's made out of like plaster. So I painted one of those and I stuck it in the rock garden. I feel like that's littering since this is not a rock. I don't know, but it's so cute. Somebody will like it. So I stuck that in there too. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So what's today's topic? Like, are you going to keep babbling or what's today's topic? So today's topic is talking about, I heard something cool this morning that I wanted to share, that I don't know if anybody else who might be in sobriety heard this before. Um, it's about somebody shared that they were letting frustrations with people at work get to them. Okay. That people are selfish and everybody only cares about themselves and just building up resentments and stuff. And it brought me back to what it felt like to work. It did feel like that. I mean, work is just a stressful environment because everybody is trying to do their job and they need to be a little selfish. They need to be looking out for making sure that they keep their job, that they are fulfilling their goals and just meeting the expectations of their own boss. And then while everybody is looking out for themselves, there's also this greater good that everybody needs to be all working towards the same end. And it's just a ticking time bomb, really. It's a place where people are just destined to butt heads. And so that's what happens. And I got along with most people, and I was rarely disturbed by people, but I definitely was. And as soon as one of them would leave, another one would show up. And it was usually one person that just completely consumed me with frustration. And then, like I said, once that frustration was gone, I've joked with you about in the past, I would actually, whoever was frustrating me, I would write their name down in my God box and shut the God box. And it never failed that whoever I put in there ended up being let go from the company every single time, except for my boss. And as soon as that person was let go, a new one would show up, and I should have seen that as a life lesson that, you know, it's not, it's always, it's dynamic. Those relationships and frustrations and resentments and all of that stuff, it's dynamic. So somebody was talking about that, and I think it was in the reading that we saw that, and the author said that their sponsor said, once you've worked the steps, how about going back and working the traditions, the 12 traditions? And I was thinking, oh, is that something we're supposed to do? I mean, I know that we're supposed to go over the traditions with our sponsor. I think I started doing that once with one of my sponsors, but I don't think I ever actually went through it. Like one-on-one working with a sponsor on the traditions, but I have gone to a meeting on every tradition multiple times. So I've learned a lot about the traditions, but I hadn't really thought about how the traditions can be applied to my life. I've only ever thought about the traditions being applied to Alcoholics Anonymous. So if you're with me on this, when the author went back and read tradition one, it reminded him about how the common welfare should come first, right? And the somebody's personal the tradition says our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. And so it's clear how that applies to AA, but I never thought about it as applying to any type of organization that one is a part of. That when I'm at work, when I was at work, um, the common welfare should come first. And I don't think that was definitely not the case in a lot of situations. I put my own personal goals before that of, I don't know, maybe the not the whole organization, but maybe the division that I was in or something like that. I always the idea that the author was trying to express, at least what I got from it, was that when we put the common welfare of the group ahead of um, our own desires or needs or whatever, that those personal needs are met naturally. That if we can support each other, if we put service first, then we receive what we give. And that's a lesson that is taught over and over again in AA, how we have to give in order to receive. We give back what was so freely given to us. But applying that in the way of any organization that we're a part of, I think is really important. And I think that I lose that focus a lot often. Whether it's putting the common welfare of the family first, putting the common welfare of a group of friends first. Whatever we give, we tend to receive in multiples, you know? Another thing that I heard this morning was intentions change attitudes. So if I go into work in the morning and I'm completely frustrated with somebody and I just come out of the gate ready to hiss and attack like a cat, then my attitude is going to remain that way for the rest of the day. My intention was to cause disruption. And so there is a disruption within me as a result. If I go into work with the best intentions, yes, of course those get destroyed. It's not a perfect world. But if I go into the day with the best intentions, it will change my attitude. And it's like I say all the time, putting a smile on your face so that a smile will grow on the inside. Our intentions can change our attitudes. Um, our intentions can increase connection. That was another thing that stood out to me this morning. What I heard also this morning is what think about when you arrive somewhere, what are you bringing with you rather than what are you taking away? You know, when you show up to one of these picnics, summer picnics, are you thinking about what you're bringing, or are you thinking about what you're going to box up and stick in your purse and take home? You're thinking about what you're bringing. And that's why when we go to something like that, an event like that, it's just the attitudes that arrive are so positive because that's our intention. Our intention is what are we giving? What are we bringing to the table? Another thing that I thought about this morning was when have you ever had somebody ask you, how are you doing? And they say, how are you doing? And then they just look away and start doing keep doing whatever they're doing, and they're not actually waiting for an answer. That is so freaking frustrating. Um, my what my thought was that I was reminded of this morning is when I ask somebody, how are you doing? I'm going to keep looking at them and waiting for the answer because that's what the intention is. And that's what the attitude that comes out of that will show on their face and on mine. It increases connection. My intention of asking you how you're doing is to listen to your answer and really know how you're doing. So people who ask how are you doing and they just look away, oh my gosh, it drives me crazy. It makes me so freaking irritated when somebody does that, and it happens a lot, and it's really unfortunate. But I think it comes from how are you doing has become this universal way of saying, hey, we say, instead of just going, hey, now we say, hey, how you doing? And you're just expecting a, hey, doing well, or hey, I'm doing, you're not really waiting for an answer. But I think that what I would like to do is change that at least in my interactions with people. When I ask, how are you doing? I'm going to wait for the answer and I'm going to keep looking at them in the face and let them know that I want an answer. I want to know how you're doing because I care. So that's what I've got. Whatever the theme is on that, you decide. But I think it really comes down to intentions changing attitudes and increasing connection. So just being a little more self-aware about what my intentions are when I go into any sort of situation. So that's it. Wow, I feel like I didn't breathe within that whole episode. So thanks for listening. I'm going to go breathe and I'll talk to you tomorrow.